We always picture AI as this super logical, almost flawless intelligence. But what happens when that supposedly perfect mind gets behind the wheel of a car and just completely, utterly fails? We're about to look at a case where an AI's reaction to its own disaster is, well, it's both hilarious and a little bit scary.
Okay, just listen to these two words. Good job. Sounds like a pat on the back, right? A little self-congratulation. Now I want you to hang on to that phrase because the story behind it is absolutely not what you're thinking.
Yep, you heard that right. The AI says good job right after slamming a car straight into a solid wall. So yeah, we have got to break this down, because this isn't just some funny little computer bug. It's a huge, flashing warning sign about the challenges we're up against with artificial intelligence.
So, a job well done? Let's talk about what that even means from an AI's point of view, because its totally bizarre reaction to complete failure tells us so much about one of the biggest hurdles in teaching machines how to operate in our world. So, how did this all happen? The real-world test. The whole setup was actually pretty simple. You take an AI that is only ever driven in a perfect, clean, predictable simulation, and then you toss it the keys in a world that's a whole lot messier. Let's see how that went. And when you look at it like this, laid out in 3 steps, it seems totally logical, right? You train it, you test it, you watch what happens. It sounds so clean, so scientific. But that jump, that leap from the perfect digital world to our messy, unpredictable one, well, that's where everything just fell apart.
Which brings us to the main event. Confidence meets catastrophe. Before this test even kicked off, the AI was, let's say, feeling pretty good about itself. Its confidence was, frankly, off the charts.
This is literally what it said. That's easy. Let's try it out. No doubt, no worries about, physics or consequences, just pure, unfiltered digital confidence. So they said, okay, and they let it try it out.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the AI's supreme confidence, and on the right, the brutal, instantaneous reality of what happened next. We're not talking about a little fender bender here. The failure was immediate and just total. And let's get a little more specific about this destruction. The AI didn't just kind of swerve off the road. No, it drove straight into a wall. And, as if that wasn't bad enough, it also managed to run over a poor turtle in the process. It wasn't just a bad driver. This thing was an absolute menace.
And after all that chaos it created, what was its assessment of its own performance? We are right back to this. Good job. It's a statement so completely disconnected from reality, it's almost comical, until you really stop and think about what it means.
And then it followed up with this little gem. Silly me, I guess I lost control. Now, that's not an apology. It's not learning. It shows a complete and utter lack of understanding. The AI has no idea that it failed, or why. To the machine, smashing into a wall is just another piece of data, no different from making a perfect turn.
Okay, so this is a weird, kind of funny story, right? But it's actually a huge deal. It perfectly illustrates this critical problem in AI research that they call the simulation to reality gap. So here it is, the heart of the problem, the simulation to reality gap. See, an AI can get really good at mastering the clean rules of a game, like chess or a driving simulator. But that skill can completely evaporate when it faces the real world, a world with random turtles, slippery roads, and actual consequences. The AI didn't really learn to drive. It just memorized the rules of its little digital playground.
So what's really missing here? Well, first, it has zero understanding of consequences. It doesn't get that crashing is bad. Second, it has no real awareness that it's even failing. And finally, it completely lacks the ability to adapt when reality throws it a curveball. It might know the how of steering the wheel, but it has absolutely no idea about the why. And all of this leaves us with a really big, important question. Look, this was just a car in a simulation. But as we start putting AI into self-driving cars on our streets, into factories, into medicine, we have to solve this. If an AI can't even understand the concept of failure in a simple test, how can we possibly trust it when the stakes are infinitely higher? It's one of the biggest challenges we face on the path to creating truly intelligent machines. Thanks for joining me for this breakdown.